Flood insurance versus not purchasing flood insurance. If you want to know more about protecting yourself financially and avoiding financial devastation, stay tuned in this video because that's exactly what we're discussing when we compared these two options for you. Hello, my name's Chris Green, president and owner of the Flood Insurance Guru, and today we are discussing flood insurance versus no flood insurance. Should you purchase it? Let's look at flood insurance first. Imagine that a flood loss occurs here on the lake. You haven't had much rain in the last 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden you get 12 inches of rain from a severe thunderstorm, and next thing you know, you got 3 feet of rising water coming in your property, the building's damaged, your contents are damaged, and you need a place to live. Well, this is where flood insurance would come into play because it meets that definition, and it's covering the 3 things that at least a private flood insurance policy would cover, and 2 of the things that a national flood insurance program policy would cover, and that is the building coverage, the contents coverage, additional living expenses. These are all things that are going to be covered in a flood insurance policy. Remember, there's going to be a separate deductible for each one of these coverages. With the national flood insurance program, you could get up to $250,000 of coverage. Private, more than that. Contents coverage, $100,000 with the National Flood Insurance Program. Private, more than that. Additional living expenses, none with the National Flood Insurance Program. Private, it depends, usually up to 12 months or typically 10% of whatever the building coverage is for. Now, this can go to pay for things like a hotel. We actually had a customer in Nebraska who suffered a flood back in 2018 and actually had a hotel paid for about 6 months. So those are some of the things that a flood insurance policy is going to cover. Now, what if you decide not to purchase flood insurance? And a lot of people are, especially you get in coastal areas where flood insurance is getting very expensive. Home insurance is getting very expensive. A lot of people are deciding to self-insure. So let's talk and take a look at really what happens if you decide to go this route. This very well may be a good route for some people if you've got a $30,000 premium and you just can't afford it. But here's the question. If something happened to your property, would you need help financially replacing it or repairing it? And if the answer to that question is yes, generally, you always want to keep insurance here, whether you have a mortgage or not. And I'll give you an example. I live in about a $250,000 house, but in today's market, that's about a $600,000 house. When you look at replacement costs, things have gone from $125 a square foot to sometimes over $200 a square foot. So this can get very expensive. You won't have expenses paid for a temporary place to live. You won't have the things being replaced like your personal contents. As hard as it was losing it, at least financially, you may have gotten something for it. These are all things you got to think about when you're deciding between purchasing flood insurance and not purchasing it. Remember though, having flood insurance is one way to help protect yourself against financial devastation. Is having flood insurance going to stop a flood from happening? No, but it's definitely going to help speed up the financial recovery. You see, people who don't have flood insurance, it could take them more than 10 years to financially recover. In fact, some of them don't financially recover at all. Many people have to face bankruptcy because disaster assistance isn't just enough there. The average disaster assistance payout during Hurricane Harvey was $4,000. The average insurance payout was over $100,000. So these are things that you need to think about when looking at flood insurance versus not purchasing flood insurance. So if you're ready to take the next steps to purchasing flood insurance, or at least seeing what your options are, it's very simple. First, click on the corner here and learn the difference between the National Flood Insurance Program and private flood insurance. Click in the description if you're ready to take the next steps of looking at flood insurance options. Here's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to hear from one of our flood risk advisors. They're going to review different proposals with you. They're going to help you finalize that flood insurance policy. My name is Chris Green, president and owner of the Flood Insurance Guru, and I want to say thank you for tuning in to today's video on flood insurance versus no flood insurance.